What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video at G's RC Garage. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to remove your motor from your Traxxas Revo or Slayer truck. I have both of my nitros on the table here. You see, they're pretty much identical. This one just has the smaller arms and tires, but as far as chassis wise goes, they are the same. This one, I do have the motor already removed just to make it a little easier. This one is mounted, so I'll be able to go back and forth to kind of show you guys the process. This truck here, the motor mount was actually broken, so I just went and got a new one yesterday, so I got that swapped out. So this is actually the motor from the Revo. This is actually the Slayer motor because I am actually waiting on parts for this motor. I blew out the clutch bell, waiting to get that in the mail right now. So I wanted to drive this truck, so I just did a quick little engine swap. So this will make a good time to make this video for this, guys. Also, make sure you guys stick around because I will show you how to install the LED light kit I have on this truck as well. I don't have one on this truck, so I'll actually do the full install process. Show you guys the whole step-by-step on how I get the lights in there. So make sure you guys stick around. Let's get into it. Step one for removing your engine from your Revo or Slayer chassis, you're going to want to get your 2.5mm Allen key. There is going to be 4 screws. There's going to be 2 on this side, 2 on the back side, as well as 1 back here that holds the exhaust on, as well as 1 more that's underneath down here for your throttle linkage. Go ahead and remove all of those. At that stage, your engine will be loose. Step 2, you're going to want to make sure everything else is disconnected. So go ahead and get your pliers, remove your glow plug wire if you have it on your easy start system, as well as your fuel lines. So you'll want to pull the one off your exhaust, as well as the one going to the engine. All the other ones you can leave. I just have the fuel tank removed on this truck right now because it needs a few new rebuild parts. So that one is just sitting on the shelf. But once you get all of those disconnected, you don't have to. It is a little easier if you remove your air filter, so that just pops off by hand. Just kind of grab it down by the base, give it a little twist. Hang on, let me set you guys up over here. All right, so grab it down by the base, give it a little twist. Come on, there it is. A little twist. Usually pull it towards you, they'll pop right off. Put that to the side. Go ahead and lift your engine straight out. Make sure all your engine wires are disconnected, everything is out, and it'll just come straight out. Just be careful when you do take it out that you don't bend your header too much. You can cut these zip ties and take off the manifold if you want to be a little bit more careful with it. I'm not going to on this one just because I'm going to put it back in. You see there's the broken clutch bell. So yeah, that's it. It's simple as that. It literally takes less than 5 minutes if you're doing it the first time to get your engine out. So careful you don't turn upside down and lose your screws. But that's it. That's as far as it is for removing your engine. So the next step will be, now that we got the engine removed, now's a good time, if it hasn't been out of your truck in a while, to give it a nice little clean down. This one's pretty clean because I just had it out. It hasn't really been around. But I like to use this WD-40 electrical contact cleaner. It's quick drying, doesn't leave a residue. It's good for electrical parts, so it's good enough for nitros. You can basically just, I like to still kind of cover the engine so you don't get gunk down the carburetor hole. Then you can basically just blast it off. You have some compressed air. You can also use some compressed air to get that nice and cleaned up. Next up, if you have a long 5.5mm to remove the carburetor, next up is I'll show you guys how to get the carburetor out. If you have a long 5.5, you basically just need to loosen this screw here. If you don't, if all you have is all you have is one of the little T-tools that it comes with. You might need to remove the easy start, which is also pretty easy. You just have to remove these 3 screws here. So I'll show you how to do it right now. Okay, now that you get those 3 screws out, basically just pull straight out. The whole easy start unit will come off at one piece. You can just put that out of the way in a clean spot. Now you have access with your 5.5 millimeter wrench. Get in there, you just loosen that one up. You don't even need to take it all the way out because it's just a pinch bolt style, I think is what I remember. Once you get it loose, you should be able to just twist and it just comes right out. As you can see down in there, the way this style works, once you get it out, so it has this little flat spot on there. So when you tighten that little nut there, it basically just kind of clamps it down in there, and that's what holds it in. Once you get it out, basically the install process is going to be the same, whether it's you're putting the stock one back in there or an OS or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure your O-rings are all good. You make sure that the throttle side is away from the exhaust. Put it back in the same way you that groove just basically needs to be kind of lined up in the center, just like so, and then it'll just slide right back down in there. Make sure it's seated all the way down in, straight, basically the way it was from the factory. Base as good as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just eyeball it. Should see it all the way down there, and then take your tool, tighten that nut back up. Don't have to go crazy with it. Just a nice little finger tight. That's all you need. Just like that. Perfect. That's how you basically remove and replace your carburetor. As far as the engine install, it's just simple as reverse. So put your easy start unit back on. If you see it's a little grimy like this, you can kind of just give that a clean up. Make sure everything looks nice and clean up in there. You can basically make sure you drop it back in the way it came. You kind of just have to give it a little twist back down in there. Make sure you have this yellow wire. It's your ground for your easy start, so that needs to go back on the engine block right there when you put the screws back in. But yeah, it'll just basically drop straight back down in there. Same way you took it out, put the screws back in, you're good to go. Simple as that. Next up, let's talk about lights. What I'm running on these trucks here, these are the Injora rock light kits. There's the part number. These are the rock light kits for the 1/10 RC crawler. So they have 2 different versions. These are the yellows, which I actually haven't even opened. This is going to be the first time I see what they look like for myself. On this truck here, which I run on all my other ones, are the white ones. So I run them on both of these trucks here. I use my Flysky G11P controller. If you guys don't have a good controller, I 100% recommend getting one. You'll basically have it forever if you're into the hobbies, and the amount of adjustability and control you can have over a good controller, these like $200 too, is night and day difference over the stock Traxxas one. If you don't want to invest in one of these, I will show you how to wire it for your stock controller as well, but you won't have controls over like the strobes. You'll actually have to use the switch that comes with it, but we'll get into that later. As far as batteries, I'm running these lipos. Both trucks, I have these little mini lipos. These are just 2-cell lipos you can get off Amazon, 600 milliamps. On the Revo here, I just have it Velcro to the top of the box. In the bottom, I have nothing there just to keep it lightweight. This way, it makes it easy to swap out. They're super lightweight, so I've never had an issue of it falling off or anything like that. And then it just plugs directly into the factory whatever plug, so you still have your on and off switch, everything like that. I like running this on here though, because I also have telemetry, so that's why I also recommend a good controller. So all of these new Flyskys, they basically have 2-way receivers, so they actually send signals back So you can see just on the main screen, you got your transmitter voltage, but it also has RX voltage. So it gives you real-time voltage of your truck here, which is very, very useful. If you go to this setting here, so this, it gives you all your telemetry. You can adjust this, set it up whatever you want. I have the main one as my temp sensor. So this basically, I have it wired up to my glow plug. It just goes straight down to the head. So you get real-time temperature all the time of what your head is. Super, super useful. But also, like I said, it has your RX voltage here too. So you can set up alarms on all of these. If you go into this, if you click on it, alarm on, you can set basically your high temperature, low temperature. So if it gets to that point, it'll basically go red and start beeping and vibrating, so I'll let you know that it's starting to get a little too hot. And same thing with your voltage, you can do low voltage. It's very, very cool. Definitely recommend it. Same thing on this truck, except for since the receiver box is so much smaller, I do have the LiPo just on the inside here. It comes off through this little cord, plug it in, and then this one I just have to leave it on the inside to charge it. Not a big deal, I just plug it in there, charge, but super easy. These are both running the same receivers. They are the FSR7V. These ones are cool because they have the built-in gyros. You don't need any extra parts or anything like that, which is super useful. Also, I have my custom fan here on my 3D printed mount. Let me know, guys, if you guys are interested in this piece. I can put a link to the Thingiverse, or I can put it up on Thingiverse if you guys are interested in printing that. It just goes to a cheap Amazon switch here, so I can hit this button, turn it on and off. It's super useful, especially for hot days. Cools it down nice and quick. This button up here. So this controller actually comes with a light controller. If you don't have a controller where you can control it from the controller, how many times did I just say controller? You can use this little switch here to actually turn them on and off, make them strobe, do whatever you want. But if you have one, you can wire them up. So I have it just on this push button, so I can turn them on and off. So I don't have to open this box or anything to turn anything on and off. Very, very useful. So let's go ahead and get that close up. It kind of shows you just a little bit what's going on in that truck. Let's get that one turned off. Move this one out of the way. Bring this one over so we can actually get to the install. Get this kit opened up though. Let's see what these things look like. Then you have to rip it. Nice little box here. Mounting screws, which you don't need. All you need is just the lights. Apparently, they have a couple different ones too. You can get them with the light controller. Apparently, the ones I ordered did not come with the light controller, but that's okay. I'll just plug it directly in. I don't really use the strip anyways. Order these little guys. These are just the on and off switches I use. These are some cheap ones you can get off Amazon. They just plug directly into, so you can have a switch that way. Anywho, let's see. Let's get these plugged in. Let's see what they look like. So on this one, I just plug them into pretty much just any open channel. These ones have like 7 channels, so there's a lot to pick from. Just make sure it's plugged in the right way. There it is. Okay. If you're running the stock Traxxas system, and if you don't have any open channels on your receiver, you can pick up this part here, 2046. It's basically all it is. It goes from a single plug to 2, so you can plug 2 plugs into the same thing. I wouldn't recommend using channel 1 or 2 because that's your steering and throttle, or channel 3 because I believe that is the shift for the reverse. Anything else, channel 4 or 5, all these other ones, and I wouldn't use any of the sensor ones either because obviously those are straight for the TQI stuff. But all of these other ones, 4 or 5, you can basically plug this thing in there if you don't have an open channel, and it'll work perfectly fine. But like I was saying, you won't have the ability to control it from the switch, which I don't know. So let's see here. I gotta switch my trucks. Model, select model, Slayer. Yes. Turn on. Oh yeah. So not a huge difference color. They're still pretty white. They look pretty good though. I just kind of like them though. If you look at the Revo lights, definitely a different color. These are definitely like a real bright white, where these are like it's definitely a yellowy white. So for a classic truck, I dig it. Something interesting now. So make sure when you guys order these, I guess order the white version. Seems like the wires are a lot longer on these yellow ones. The wires are not long enough to reach the back of the truck. So pretty much what you want to do, I'll just show you on my Revo how you do it. You basically mount them to the front here, run the wires down, underneath, up around. I have them zip tied together. To get the twist look, you basically just make sure it's zip tied together so you're not pulling on the ends. I like to put a little bit of hot glue on them just to protect them from the elements and to keep the wires a little bit stronger. Basically, you remove the shock mounts and the shock bolts so you can get the wires underneath. There's a little slot here to run the wires. Run it down into the factory cables, the way it runs for your all your servos here. I just zip tie everything together so it looks all nice and clean. That all runs into the receiver box there. From there, this is where the two sets split out. The rear ones I run down through the side of the transmission. I have it zip tied through here, and from here it basically just follows the rear starting harness up around the back, and then to the back there are just screwed into the same thing, just the body post mounts. So yeah, that's it on this one. Hope you guys like this little video. I guess it wasn't too little, but this detailed video on how to remove your engine and your carburetor, how to reinstall it, and also install some lights on your nitro vehicles. Talk about putting the batteries on there. Make sure you guys, if you have any questions, leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer them. Click over here for more videos, down here to subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.